Newborn babies are very delicate. We can all attest to that fact. Their skins are very soft, their bones are very brittle. So it's very, very important that we know how to handle a newborn, especially from a day old to 6 months. My name is Nanaya. This show is Abatanye here on City Star TV. And I to always remind you, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. The subscribe button is right there. Please press it. Hit on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our other exciting episodes. Our social media handles on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter is City Star TV. Kindly do so and we'll be right back. Welcome back, viewers. So on today's episode, we are going to discuss how essential it is in handling a newborn. And with me here in the studio today is our own midwife, Mavis Amwakun. She's a very familiar face if you keep watching Abatanye, as I always tell you to do. She's from New Tafo Government Hospital. She's a midwife, and she's here to discuss with us how to handle a newborn baby, the intricacies that go into handling a newborn. Mavis, you're welcome once again.
Thank you.
So we'll get straight onto it. So we are going to talk about handling a newborn. And it's very, very important, especially, I think the number one thing you need to take care of or you need to know is that you need to do this with a clean hands. You need to handle a newborn with clean hands. And that's a meboa.
No correct. Because newborns exposed to a lot of infection. And I think so they are new to the environment. And so for anymore, you have to make sure so I wash your hand. Hand washing is very, very important. And so I did. What's our crying? Yes, I know. Obey exposing you to infections.
Well, it's nice say before you pick up your baby, you need to make sure you've gone through this hand washing that they teach us, proper hand washing. Make sure you wash your hands with clean soap and clean water as much as you can to make sure your hands are very, very clean before you even go near a newborn baby to pick up. So, say now best so aqualanim so all far before you are on your labor bed, you just finished giving birth, and they bring your baby to you. How do you hold your baby?
Okay. I am praying baby no. Say about Franny ba out, I am midwives no. You need the kind so you receive the babies. Until you receive your my corny a cosisi or muhu answer. A corape or muhu into madano. Ye best show a sisi who won't pass on your bibian. If you walk out bebano, na ye not to courting. But so, Eddie, I'll be so obefano. Nti ya imprim bebre no beba na ya wrapping no nti wunya direct contact so
on the
skin nti like yeah man so a ye de nem eto nsem said that be ya unkomia the delicate part bia and ye kire so position of said that be ya be breastfeed you know nti no so no baby a oda no o baby anko so ni tinim na aka say ebe hame head no because say omoba na omo head no fetal scar no like infuses nti no like bibia ye patent nti anything be called direct to the brain nti no open no like any hard way bia no ebe affect brain nti like mishandling there and
you have to be very cautious.
Yes, so ni mu a tina mpre mebere say akwa enye obi a neptimi handling newborn nti wo mother no cry ye kire how abesi ayeden aso franim onko so ne baby a obu o ha se ne moto mu se na unfa nsan nti like 10 bia no mane so ne body ni nyina enfa nsan nko hye baby a na say bia waso ne nsa ne na
It's the old man so when you are picking up your baby, how do you do it? Do you put your one hand at the back of the head and raise it? Are you putting one hand at the back of the knees or the buttocks or the back? How are you actually picking up the baby? And this part then can be here say very illustrations into the bit me don't say just as your viewers know.
And you know onsa da neto onsa ba akoda neto
o de nsa beto ne to.
ene said that be ya na na echi ko ne kon ho no.
Okay.
Said that be ya nkoso ne kon direct sa. Nti wonya sa full support no. Baby a waso nyina no like be
while holding a family.
Very good.
When you're good grip.
Nti no be prayer say ebia anyway bia no obebo fom and I say like bibi bet me a hete aha me baby no.
Okay, so basically when we are picking up our baby, after you washed your hands, it's very, very important that you wash your hands so you don't touch the baby with dirty hands, because their skin is very delicate. At this stage, anything can happen, and their immune system is really low. So they are very prone to infections. So please wash your hands with clean water and soap. And then when you're done, just like our beautiful midwife said, she said you put one hand on her buttocks, on the baby's buttocks, and the other one at the cradle of their neck, almost to the back, and then you lift. That way you get a firm grip on raising your baby, on handling your baby. So you know it's not easy for you to just drop your baby. So most of the times, we talk about, there's a space in between their head. Like you said, it's not fused properly. And you can see that place pulsing. So when it comes to handling, especially when you're about to bath your baby, how do you avoid touching that part? So even, some parents would like to use the towel or hot towel to comb the baby's hair back or clean their head. So how do you do that without harming the baby?
Me pacho so we na oka no aham your friend anterior frontal. Your anterior and the posterior. Anterior na we ni mo. Owo abofra bia na wo bi. And posterior no so wo but because of any nti ya entan hu sa posterior de but the wo ho. Nti eno no wo ho sa no. Nti na ya most of time enyan enclose ye. Nti anything no bibia touch bia na say ne harm we bia ko direct to the brain. It is so after the crime and crabby or honoma. Oya bi mu se omo ye nsuo mba anase obu wo ha waye style bi mishandling.
Okay.
Obu wo ha bia ne maame nsa kobo ni ti. Ebo no pe call direct to the brain. So ti ebe affect newborn. Afi wo nyine no waye
ne
nti ye hwere mu a wo bedware abofra ye mfa akra nto ye nsam ndware ye pe flat surface.
Okay.
So ideally no
put the baby on the flat surface.
Na ne call sheet ni seso so what ya say nti wo dware ni wi a what ya say wo dware like we'll start with the head now on sasheshe na sum. Nti on sasheshe na sum won touch niti no.
Okay.
So nti aye bibi say
like you hold from the jaw na the sasheshe na sum.
Na what twitwi niti nim na nim ni head ni nyina. Wo wi a wo di towel abon so mafefa aho apepa we no ehuro no ni nanim. You are done with the head. Nti eno no say involve any mishandling bia so bibia ye smooth like won sawa what you treat it or the tower bone so ma fefa it apepa nanim or the cotton paper nanim ni ad you are done with the head.
Okay.
Until dware the whole body ni wi a e woni nyina of flat surface news until no akwawash wo baby bath. You are done.
So basically, if you are bathing a newborn, you are going to need a flat surface.
Yes.
So you lay the baby down, and then with your hand, your fingers, you hold through their jawline and cover their ears. That's interesting. So if you didn't know how to bath your babies, to make sure that water doesn't get into their ears, and you make sure that you avoid touching the anterior front tunnel and the posterior tunnel. And also your front tunnels are okay.
So you anything anterior front.
Okay.
Posterior back.
Okay.
So the front tunnels no way.
Okay. All right, so basically the open tunnels now are referring to,
Okay.
to make sure you don't touch them. Put your baby on a flat surface. Use your fingers, your thumb and your middle, or whichever that's lengthy enough to hold your baby from the jaw and cover the baby's ear so water doesn't get into the baby's ears. And then you can bathe the baby's head. Use a towel to clean up the lather, and then, but please do this on a flat surface when you're handling your baby. Sometimes people wonder, they want to stretch out the baby's arms and legs. They feel like wakredo or womb sama waye wakwa. They are little bent, and Africans especially, we have this thing we call, is it bow leg or the K leg or something. We believe that when our babies are younger, we don't stretch out their limbs for them. They end up being bow leg. Okay, so we like to. Is it advisable that on our own we do those things? We put towel in hot water and then we'll be using it to stretch out the baby's limbs and massaging them. Can we do that for a newborn?
Because they do that. So almost a baby, like my yes, our mom say they come with that presenting. Omutina you say. It's definitely on to me with straight hands.
Okay.
Obekwa kwane ho said I be obeti my day. Epia abonte. Until nyaba abonte time. Say any a prayer ho. Say wakwa kwane ho ne ade ntimi pese ombie no ho. As time so the baby is new to the environment. Until all you know nano. Obo say ono ano like ono baby ne nsam. So what I say? Henny is all kind of again. Some need a surgical intervention about finding na. So what I say? Until now, so she I would say. The nine is saying to me, I make but will be a K leg out. There's nothing you can do about it. Oh yeah, inside calipers. Sanet says, so I made the bone.
Okay.
But I am most of the time outside calipers, no be like doctors no. A bone wing to bit my heading. I be heading. Afa. Nti wo so she na wo say na me di miamiano. Ama ne ho atent ne straight no. Nti abrofo no omunye no omuma no maye omachiachia. Omunchiachia omuye straight. Nti na stages. Stage bia ne abofa ndi obeye den. Obeye. Nti obi a obafofro wo di obeye. Onyi no obohu no oyeden. No osesa. Nti abotre anyhow besi ahwe wunya abotre na ahwe star stages na obehu so send na wing na kwa hu na me ha me ba.
Okay. So just like our midwife said, she's basically said that those things are not needed. Stretching out your baby, we woke up, you're causing unnecessary pain to the baby. You realize that you're doing this and the baby is crying.
At the end, cry now causing
more harm than good. So it's necessary. Yeguswana yeka how to handle our baby, how to pick up your newborn. Make sure your hand is at the back of the neck, at the cradle of the neck, almost at the back of the baby, and one is on the baby's buttocks before you pick up your baby. Make sure you are doing that with clean hands. If your hands are not clean, stay away from the newborn. So now we've talked about how to bathe our newborn, and we've also realized that those stretching out exercises that we do with hot towels, they are all not necessary. So you've already talked to us about how to position our baby. Say during we're about to breastfeed, we've already talked about that. But how we put the baby's head on your
okay. Now, nitini da hana wonsa we. And then now the best support neto.
Okay.
It say definitely so wonsa ne support neto na ebe pushi baby ni up.
Okay.
So what I say, until you make sure say ne way ne cord no be can wefu to get that bone. So attachment no. I was say it should be there. Until once anya can to say na say ya ti so tinitini already a push ya batok. Na fun so boha. Until no for no cry bro baby no until onya direct contact with the breast. So until nya fe na won force. Until adene da so say
They
Ti wo
just
na
give
ti wo na wo be hwe kwan a be fa so aye den. E
out
dey
the
ewura
money.
nanum. Almost at time kofo bebebe nipple no. Or if you don't position the baby well, but who say nipple no na ye den. Ahye akra nanum. E be affect wo mother no. Mo hu say wo no funa no be ye kro. Ye kro so e be ya wo na e be ya wo ya. Aye kro no so so no still we advise for you to breastfeed. Yes, aye kro ni to ye de ujai. Until you make sure you position the baby well to the breast so that baby ni be feel comfortable. Or feel comfortable o kra wa sumajo. Hence you so we no ade sa we aye sa position. Now don sa we for no. How they are told no for nase.
Now they are raising.
Ti to yes na pagya no for no bebre body no bebre. Nti wo de share abofra no ma make sure say ne pony comb black way near friend areola no so make sure say more na eden nso akwa abofra no num nti ono na no gba no sa na otwe ombre also wonya den ombre to make sure so obenya baby a wo so madam obenya akonya bi a you can rely your back so wo ho akonya tiatia na do na eden esi so
you can relax.
No feel comfortable.
She's telling us a lot, and I hope you are actually paying attention because I'm about to do a recap. No, actually, me say, "Your chairman, me when you correct," and I say, "Me see." 2 years now, me say over 10. Say me
Okay.
So basically, I have to put my baby. Let me put this down. I have to put my baby, not the neck and wall at the back of my elbow.
Oh sure.
Good. It's your wahonum then with my hand. The one which the neck, is lying on, the one with which his neck is, my baby's neck is, I use my hand to lift the buttocks.
Sure.
That way, my baby's tummy will basically be on my tummy
Sure.
and pushing the baby up to me. Then with my other hand, I use the 4 fingers to raise my breast. At this point, my breast is basically my baby's face. So when I use that 4 fingers to lift my breast, I'm actually giving my baby space to breathe. So I'm not suffocating my baby with my breast. But then I also have to put my nipple along with my areola. I have to make sure most of my areola, not just my nipple, is in the mouth of my baby. Before my baby, it's very important because what she said was, if only the nipple is in the mouth of the baby could suckle on it so much that it could get bruised and sore. And that would not mean that you stop breastfeeding. No, because you can't starve your baby because your nipple is sore. So you need to make sure that the nipple along with most of your areola is in the mouth of your baby. That way your baby can suckle on it comfortably. And once you're breastfeeding the mothers, you try as much to relax because you can't put so much pressure on yourself. Ergo, you put pressure on your baby, and the baby needs to be okay to be breastfeeding and to be relaxed and enjoying what you're doing. So it's best you find a comfortable position that you can relax, and then if possible, find something, a small stool to put your legs on and rest. It's in patrol grading means and I kind of say
10 over
10 over 10. It's 10 and I'm not here, goosing I 10 over 10. It's one gas so strong, one recap no so when you're 10 over 10. Joa, leave your feedback, leave your comments under the comment section. Stay tuned when we'll be right back. We are still discussing how to handle our newborn babies from a day old to 6 months, how to make sure that you are not mishandling. Most of the times, what we don't know is that some of the things that happens to our newborns, especially like she said, when it comes to the anterior front tunnel and all that, is because of how we manhandled or mishandled our babies, from how we hold them, lifting them up, and everything. We can cause more harm than good to the babies without even realizing them. So today we are talking about how to handle our newborns. And before we left, we discussed how to pick them up, how to bathe them, how to hold them in a breastfeeding position. Now our baby is well breastfed, and we're about to put the baby to bed. Now that's why we're going to have sleeping positions, recommended sleeping positions for babies. Sometimes we forget ourselves. Some people put their babies face down, and you don't even check the baby's head. You don't tilt the baby's head to the side to realize that your baby is breathing. And before you know, you've already suffocated your baby because you put the baby's face down first and into the pillow, and the baby suffocated and something happened. So our beautiful midwife here is going to tell us some of the sleeping positions recommended for our newborns. So, Madam Mavis.
Okay, newborns ankasa no de. The best sleeping position for them is lateral.
Okay.
Lateral
When you say
position.
lateral,
Like them sleeping at their side.
okay.
Being left or right.
Okay.
Mm,
No,
it's
it
okay.
doesn't really matter.
Ain't no. Yade o ma no for we are. Now the nato one side.
Okay.
On fanning butu, on fanning to.
Yeah.
Yes, I know so the be ya. Like if say of vomit here, it will just pass.
Okay. Okay.
And quiet so da hona.
Afani hunim.
What you say? Two back no. Say be out the next why something happened to the baby. Maybe it's a say na me man no for what really happened. So you'll be asking yourself these questions, but not knowing say
It was a
sleeping position no
and
ma
then
causes so until anytime make sure say your baby or newborns no they lie
on
on
their
their
side.
lateral side. Until no ne boa time be and if anything want to come out, it will just
Pass the side and hunim and that's all
And
you team. So the best sleeping position for a baby is on the side. That's the lateral sleeping position.
Yes.
So I didn't know this. So we are all learning today new information. For me, I used to put my baby face down because that's what I was told. I was told that when you put them face down and you just tilt the head, it helps them sleep. But today I'm learning new information, which is apparently the best position recommended by your midwife for your newborn babies for them to sleep on the side. How so? Most of the times we tend to put our babies to bed after they've breastfed, and it's very true. In their sleep, they can vomit. Now, if they're lying on their back, they tend to vomit, and then it can actually get into their nostrils and suffocate them. So if they're lying on their side, then the vomit just, it just passed through their side like that and onto the pillow, and then your baby is safe. But imagine if your baby is lying on his back or on a tummy, and then vomit, it can actually enter into their nostrils and their mouth, causing more complications. So the side, no matter what, just put the baby on the side. So let me ask another thing is, most parents like to put their babies on their laps and their arms and let them sleep. Is it a comfortable thing to do? You put the baby on sometimes the baby is not lying down flat.
Okay.
The way you're holding, so the baby's a little
Their head it's almost
it's bent, and then they are a little tilted. Is that a comfortable sleeping position recommended? Is that okay?
It's in America no. As I said, the best position say under the side.
Okay.
Until after breastfeeding, they bobonechi. So that be a gas be a one mu be then. Until belchi why fine. So that be a what the net of her. But so the walk can obi on man cranny baby omo ye na soba. That's what the parents started with. Until the net to her.
No.
Ne ho kan skin ne kan bed now who say we nye me mame ho na me obesu. Until the best thing is a time bia no obetap your machi. Oba na o ma belchi na say obelchi like it's hardly so bedding obefe. Until no sa no betimi de na to na so. Okay. No come and cry no mu pesu because obu o ho aye ne de obesu. Until for your peace sake no ebi our assistant or hono or mommy or hono bet me than an answer.
Okay, another thing I want to ask is, sometimes these crybabies that are allergic, it's like they're allergic to mattress and bed. Okay, sometimes you need to put them on your lap and they sleep and you're able to sleep. But some of the babies, so you need to back them. Africans, we have a way of putting our babies on our back and then wrapping a cloth to tie them. At what age at what stage can we actually start doing this to the babies? Because some people
3 months.
By 3 months.
Yes.
Because I'm saying this because some of us, we were stubborn. Our babies were relatively young, but they don't sleep. God, and we needed to sleep. So we put them at 8 weeks, that is 2 months or 6 weeks. And you see somebody's baby, the baby is very, very small. Tiny. Then the baby is on the person's back and they wrap the cloth around them and the baby is all folded up at the back end so the baby can sleep.
And say ideally crown say like age maybe an institution be unya 12 weeks like you can start working because they think say at that time the baby like quite strong enough.
The bones now are more stronger.
Bit me about out. Into no, I think that 3 months na the bit me at no. I will wait. I am call see any harm today.
The baby. Okay, so you go to say 3 months bit me I did not so wait any other day. Let's also come to another thing. Sometimes we want to play with our babies and then we hold them. You know, somebody can lift a baby, no ordinary armpits with one hand, then we're raising it.
Even lifting a baby with that, crown, it's not good. So the armpit, no, newborn there, so mama to sir.
Okay. What can happen as a result of that?
Oh, say the sabeti me. So what here? So say on sashay has say. No, so bones they are not strong, sir. Into no. Always so that me kind. Kaobenya kanechino ekoneko. Ene neto.
That is the recommended position
so
to
until
pick a
so
baby.
obeyi kakra no. I'll bet me na di sa agwo na so ne motimu.
Okay. So another thing is, here minimum SCSA. We get to a certain stage where we put our babies on our lap like we want them to sit. Okay. At what stage? Because according to our mothers and our grandmothers, when the baby is not old enough and you start to put them in a position where you want them to sit, it affects their waist.
Yeah, sure.
And then it starts to cause them pains, and then sometimes you can even see it in their stool and all that. So I want to ask, how right are they? When we pick our babies up, we want to play with them, but the baby's about just 6 weeks old, and then we put them on our lap in a certain position. You hold the baby's armpits like they are telling us not to do, but we are still holding them. Then we put the baby's buttocks on our lap like we want them to sit, so we can just be bouncing them on top of our laps. Is that something you recommend?
So that me kind. The best time 3 months. The 3rd month no, obetimi started at mathematics. And no crampon, man is nasenche. So what's nasa kakra? No amana de. No amana ho. Because they all now come. Affect your waist. But who's a new so? I'm not going to be so at nas chepe no idea. No so. To newborn like akwenya 1 month, 2 months, 20 minutes fanen kwatena hosa. Anye ejuma. So they can stage beyond there was akra no was onye there. Onye.
At what stage can a child be made to put in a certain position? 3 months. That's when you can put the child in a certain that is safe, where it won't cause any problem. Be at your waist and things. Okay, so we are all learning here. We've learned a lot. We are still learning. Our beautiful midwife and experienced midwife is teaching us all the things we need to know about handling our newborn. Now, we just learned that if the kid is not up to 3 months old, please do not put that baby in a certain position. It affects their waist. It causes them to cry a lot because you're actually inflicting pain on your baby. That's why the fact that you feel like it's a position where you can play with your baby. There are other positions that are completely safe that will not cause pain to the baby. So let's come to things to avoid. So we are still on things to avoid. Actually, we've already branched into that topic. So one of the things is to not put your baby in a certain position if the baby is not up to 3 months old. What else are you supposed to avoid for a newborn? Position, someone say you make sure some final and so a newborn.
And then I can say all money in boots.
So no face, you don't put the baby face down.
Yeah. See, the best thing is all better than a side, lateral side. Now face so no, oh ma, uncle for me so ni musa.
Okay.
Obi wo ho wa wunti opese obi aba me ba no so ni mu mame. Obi wo ho ni sa experience no. To be mishandle baby no, you might not know. But who say no so bebre, nkwan so monim.
They can't talk.
They can't talk say unto me pinpoint say oh ma hire me ya. So to avoid all these things no. So trauma ne pressure ne way no no. So the old mother no better.
You limit the number of people that can have access to your baby.
And even you limit the number of time
you raise the baby. Okay, so we are limited the number of time we are lifting our baby. We are limited the number of people we allow to lift our baby, especially when they are newborns, because they can't really tell us when they are in pain. We don't know if the other person that we trusted to hold our baby mishandled the baby, because the baby can actually tell us. So the best thing to do is to limit the number of people that can actually raise our babies. So we are not putting our babies face down. We are not putting them on their backs. We are putting them on their side most of the time. We are avoiding letting them be put in certain positions on our laps until they are 3 months old. So at what point, some parents like to play with their kids and they'll be throwing them into the sky, and then they just catch them, throwing them up, catch. At what point can you not do that? Are you not supposed to do this?
So I'm not because after 3 months, you can do that.
After 3 months,
Yes,
it starts to be safe.
Mhm.
At what point does the front, the anterior and the posterior thing start fusing?
Oh, we know posterior no, and 6 months.
Within 6 months.
But until the 18 months.
Wow. So that means for 18 months, you have to be very careful about the head.
Yes.
The head is really, really, really sensitive. So
18 months and close cry. Still now you have to take very good care of them when handling the fetal scalp.
okay. So after 3 months, we can basically play with our babies. We can put them in other positions. Despite the fact that still you should be putting them on their side because of the breastfeeding and the vomits, so they don't end up choking on their own vomits. Put them on their side. But you can, after 3 months, you can play with your baby as much as you want to, because their bones are getting stronger. But it takes 18 months for the anterior frontal to perfectly fuse. Yes, and then 6 months for the posterior. So for the head, we are going to be very, very, very careful for 18 months. We are still learning. There's still a lot more to talk about. So don't go anywhere. Just stay tuned and we'll be right back. You're still watching Abatanye on City Star TV. We are still talking about how to handle our newborns. Now, let's talk about, when we come to handle, it's not just about picking up your newborn or breastfeeding or bathing. Let's talk about skin care, caring for the newborn. Let's talk about skincare. Most of the time, we just forego it. But some parents apply certain things to their baby's skin in hopes, say, oh, my baby is dark skin and I like my baby to be a little fair skin. So me, the adults, my cosmetics care product, I'm going to use on my baby. I'd like you to talk to us about recommended products or recommended skincare routines for baby.
Okay. Before that, I know say in crown newborns when they come out because of mother ni hormonal waning. Sometimes you see some rashes all over them.
Yes.
And no, it's not harmful. Like it will wear off
On
as
its
time
own.
goes on. It is not necessary to be pair
Skincare routine, chemical
yeah, so they barbe we are most of newborns no more rashes no and no aware of.
Okay.
As time goes on,
It goes away.
and no abeko. But some mothers no like
We are now we are rushing to the pharmacy.
me koto me ba no rashes bi egu no. Ono so penicillin definitely because oh
Jiwe.
yeah beko. And back to what you asked. Mothers no newborn said they are kind, they are fragile.
Yes.
Said they na skin no.
I did
No. Amo den na den. So they need mild something mild cream annoying
Okay.
like a beboa because me penny crime it on there is nowhere cream or hydro cream there is nowhere I'll go for them because they have effects on the skin.
Okay.
So oh yeah penny cry her effect also how
Imagine
much more
a baby.
newborn no now on develop a no now can introduce this cream to them, so you can see the result. Some of the babies into who no my tiny that so some making up like why your observation kakra say na omo ma me mo bleach your like they are stagnant. They never grow.
Okay.
So one time be ade ote anote. Only say oyesta onyi mpono. One day obenya ho effect. Ewo skin na nkasa nso so
Yes.
ho. Penyinfo bleach kra omunya na nso oben.
Mm-hmm.
Now at that tender age, now we're introducing those cream to your newborn. So you can see the effect that you
Yes.
ebeba on baneso.
Okay.
Ti eshramo. Munja isa man. Nyame bo tuntum a.
Bewu
Tuntum. Se wo hu.
Mhm.
Ye nyina kwaye wo eni tuntum. But mun say wo sra no. Though say wo bleachy bet. Some of the skin, obi skin ye emre. Obo hu
Tika crazy crowd. We will use cocoa butter cream.
obe koko. Nti ehun hia those cream no and black is beauty. Adent na obema oba pone ho. Den say me ye koko. Wo ye koko no apo ho. But they don't own
genetics doesn't work like that.
Yes, wapo ho na wo de te ho no. But because some person kofo be hu say wapone ho nti no.
No upon it.
No opone ba no. Wo ha kran. Growth retardation. Wo ha kran no na de ote anote. Why basa, why koko go find there. It's
No, I
not
answer she.
I answer she. Odigdi pan so na enye adwuma. So nti ehwe ma skincare ni de ho hia. Very very important.
And more, I like to add up to what she said a lot. And most of the time, what we don't even realize is at that age, we introduce certain skincare routines to our babies that we end up giving them body odor.
Yes.
Because the products we introduce to them are so strong, they end up affecting the babies in a very bad way that gives them a very bad smell. So imagine this: your baby grows up and they can't be in public and they have this pungent smell because you make choices when they didn't have a choice. You made a choice for them when they couldn't make the choice for themselves, and you introduce products that actually cause them more harm than good. When you give birth to a newborn, you, the parents, the baby is your responsibility. It is your responsibility to make sure that everything you do for the baby puts them in a good path. It's your duty. You can't make choices and be selfish about them and not think about the baby. You want to be fair, your baby is dark. Let the kid grow up and decide. Don't bleach the skin. Because whilst you were bleaching, you couldn't bleach your genes. It doesn't work that way. You can't be dark skinned and bleach and be fair and expect to give birth to a fair baby. It doesn't work. Don't introduce those chemical agents to your baby's skin. I would recommend that you go all natural. You can go virgin coconut oil. You can go shea butter. You can go olive oil. There are lots of baby oils on the market. Not every one of them is safe. Go with the safest product for your skin. Even the soaps that we use. Can it be possible that at that stage you can even stop using soap? Because some of these soaps, they contain a lot of chemicals. So I think it's advisable, say, the baby after a certain age can permit me, I just clean water and a towel.
Okay, I want to say because of technology means say no some baby soap for abofra no nti eno no dey odi dware o ma nka say ni ham bia
okay
ade say bi obi o hono ma react nkra ni most of them almost skin no who so react then you stop.
So the minute you use the products on your baby and you start to see rashes, most of them are really, really red.
Yes.
And they start to bleed and all that, then you know that your baby is reacting to that particular product. So you need to stop or discontinue use immediately. Okay. And like our midwife said, she said something, I'm hitting on that point again. Most of these rashes that the babies have, heat rashes, they resolve on its own. Yes. You don't need to see rashes break out on your kid and then rush to a pharmacy and go and buy a treatment that you, the adults, will use on yourself. No. Most of these remedies that we, the adults, use on our skin, they are highly chemical based and they are not safe for babies. If you don't know what to do, just take your baby to the hospital. Take your baby to go and see a peds doctor, and then that doctor can recommend the safest treatments for your kid. If you realize that the rashes are not resolving, they're not going away on their own, you do this. Please and please, again, mothers, we are begging with you to stop using harmful harsh chemicals on your baby's skin. You're going to cause them more harm than good. Miss Mavis,
Yes.
we are about to wrap up, so I would like you to give any word of advice that you have to our viewers.
Okay. Make sure mothers. Mona will make choices for the newborns. They are your responsibility. So you be sure mo say, mo be sure mo ye. Mo be choose nneɛma a ɛbɛyɛ dɛ ɛbɛboa wo mo. Ɛnyɛ nneɛma a ɛbɛboa wo mada no. Deɛ ɛbɛboa newborn no na wɔyɛ dɛ wo choose ama no. Nti ɛhyɛ mo yɛ ne saa na akra no na wɔboa no. Daakye bia no. Obi hu oba na akra yi ne ho akɔ no, hwan ba no no. Ɛyɛ plus ma wo mada no. Ɛnyɛ sɛ akra yi na ne ho akyenkyene sei. Hwan ba no wapɔ ne ho. Maybe you like oba no odi kan yo. You are walking behind. You will definitely hear it. How will you feel? You will feel bad. Nti ɛhyɛ mo. Time bia no mo hwɛ sɛ mo bɛyɛ the right thing. Ama mbɔfra.
In the interest of the babies. So, like our midwife said, it's for the babies. It's not for you. Don't be selfish. Don't care about just yourself. And no mother should be selfish. Care about your baby. When you're making decisions for your baby, care. For the first thing you think of is this in the interest of my baby, or am I doing this for myself? We have learned a lot today on this episode of Abatanye. And as usual, I always keep reminding you to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't done so. Please, the button is right there. The notification button is also right there. Please hit on that so you don't miss out on any of our other exciting episodes. Our social media handles on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter is City Star TV. Please follow us on all social media handles. Catch you same time every Wednesday and Friday right here on City Star TV. Thank you.